Okay, I've been giving this a lot of thought, and one of the things I've been bumping up against with the character corner lately is that the 10-point scale just doesn't give me enough room for nuance. Like, there's just not enough numbers to differentiate, and there is so much area, there's so much room for nuance in these characters, and the numbers just weren't reflecting that, right? So, like, everybody just becoming a 10, essentially, in a lot of these areas. When there is differences between them, but, like, they're all so good. So, what I've decided to do, then 300 is a good place to do this. It's only, what? A little more than, maybe a little less than 30% of the series. So, like, for most of the series, by the time you get to 800, this will feel like old school, right? But, I'm a big fan of round numbers. So 300 is a good place to make the change. So I'm making a change. I'm going to switch to an 18-point scale, which reflects Dungeons and Dragons, where they have the 18-point, attributes. Charisma, whatever, right? Like, what are those? Intelligence, charisma, strength. Agility might be one of them. I don't remember. It's literally been like 25 years since I played D&D. I love it. Who the fuck has the time? Like, literally. So, but yeah, I think I was going to do a 20-point scale, but I like the idea of it being like character attributes, I believe we even have 6, don't we? Let's see here. Yeah, 7. Close enough. Not that D&D would ever have a friendship category, right? So yeah, so we're switched to the 18-point scale. It gives me a lot more room for nuance. Okay, so let's go ahead and reflect the change. I'm just going to do the Straw Hat Crew for this video, and then I'll be, for a couple Fridays in a row, I'm going to make sure I do the character corner for any other important characters, right? Actually, I do wonder... See, the problem with CP9 is all of them are cool. So if I do any of them, I should do all of them, and I don't really want to do all of them. That's a lot of work. So, you know what? I got an idea. Let's just do CP9 as a whole. Maybe that's lazy, but I'm going to put them down here in the Hall of Fame. They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I feel like we're never going to see them again. We're almost through their arc, so I'll just do CP9 as a group. By the way, the rest of the Hall of Famers will stay. I'm not going to do their numbers. They'll stay as they are because that's when they went into the Hall of Fame. That's what the numbers had. It's like in the NFL. Maybe 20 touchdown passes a year was like incredible back in 1965. So you're not going to update those numbers now, like what it would be if they were playing today. You put them in the Hall of Fame with the numbers they had, right? So that's how that's going to stay. Well, these mofos ain't got no friendship. What little interactions we've seen between them, there seems to be a lot of infighting and a lot of dislike with each other. So you get no friendship. Trustworthiness and loyalty, they seem to be pretty loyal to each other and to their commander, even though the commander is a piece of crap. They shouldn't be loyal to him, and yet they are. They follow the chain of command. So you got to give them, I'll give them a decent little 12 there. Comedy, man, they're hitting pretty good on comedy. Like, they're hilarious. Not collectively, though. Like, for instance, Giraffe Boy's hilarious. The Zipper thing was pretty funny, even though he ended up being a pretty good fighter. I'm going to give them an average of 9. They're like halfway from 0 comedy, which is like, you actually subtract comedy from people around you. 18 being the funniest. I'll give them a 9. That's about where they belong. Cool factor, I mean, these dudes are super cool. Collectively, they're really, really cool. So I'm going to give them 16. See, normally, this is a good example of what I'm talking about. I would have just given them a 10. Cool. But this gives me room. There are people who are going to be cooler than them. The fact that I now have an 18-point scale means I have room to do stuff like that. Rather, because there's no way I would just give them a 9 before. But now, you have a range. I like this a lot. They're very cunning. I like how Bluno was able to figure out what was going on. Collectively, they're super cunning. I'm going to give them a 16 there as well. Magic? Man. Do we consider mastering the human powers magic? Or is that just like the end result? Like, say you study dance for 20 years and you're like the best dancer in the world. That's not magic. It's just you just study for a really long time and you're an expert. So I won't include that. I'm just going to talk about their fruit powers. Being able to turn into a giraffe or a wolf isn't that impressive. I would only give you like a 5 on this new scale. What other powers? I get they can only transform into creatures, right? Yeah, it's not that impressive. I'll be honest with you. I'll just give him a 6, not to be a dick, but yeah, just being able to transform. I mean, werewolves can transform. That ain't shit, man. That's not very high on the scale as far as I'm concerned. Even though they can do the Tempest kick, but again, I think a lot of that is because they have the powers they developed before they got the ability to shape change. So a lot of it's just through hard work and discipline. Yeah, so they're not going to get very high on that. Surprisingly, like if you'd asked me before I thought about it, I would say they would have got really high marks on Magic, But fighting, they're some of the best I've ever seen. Now I'm sure they'll be better, so I'm going to also put them at 16. So formidable, really formidable, right? But yeah, CP9 as a whole, like collectively, they're looking good, and definitely belong in the Hall of Fame. Okay, for now, I'm assuming since they're in limbo, Nico, Robin, and Usopp will be still considered part of the Straw Hat crew for now until we get to the end of the arc and see how it all shakes out. So, friendship. We gotta, this is the first time she's ever had friends. I now believe she values friendship. She's just never had it, so she's not good at it. So I'm gonna put her in the middle. She values it, which matters, but she's not very good at it, which matters, right? So there we are. Trustworthiness and loyalty, I think you can trust her and she is loyal. But she still needs to learn, right? So I think that's a 9 for now. Like, she has room to grow. Comedy, hilarious. Not lately. Sure as hell not lately. But she is hilarious. I mean, she can make a hand grow out of your nose. So I'm going to put her at a solid 12 at comedy. Cool factor, she's super cool. She'll get a 14 there. Cunning. Smart. But I feel like there's plenty of opportunities she had to get away, and she's just really kind of just like, it's subpar for now. I had her at a 9 before. But you know what? I mean, I'm just going to put her up to 11 because the more I think about it, the more I wonder about that. Like, how cunning is she actually? There seems to be like I feel like there's a way she could have navigated these things we've been seeing. Like, she's been in prison for a long time. There's just ways she's been resisting, but not really being smart about it. So, we can revisit that. But like for now, I'm not super impressed. Fighting by herself, it was a 2, so I'll just make it a 4. Like, just one-on-one without powers, I don't think she would be very good at fighting. Magic, though, I'm giving her an 18 because she's the most overpowered I've ever seen with fruit powers. Overpowered. Like, my God, man. Like, it's just... Like, I don't know what you do. Like, she turns your own body against you. So how do you combat that? Like, she can do it from a distance. She doesn't even have to come up and touch you. Like, there's no limitations I've seen other than the prison, cuffs or being in a prison cell. There's no limitations. Like, most of these other powers have limitations. Luffy can be, poked with a hole, or he'll run out of energy and need food and stuff. She can make 1,000 hands, and we've never seen her ask, oh shit, now I have to sit down and rest and eat something. No limit. Like, she is super overpowered. Which is one of the reasons, like, if she leaves the crew, that'll be why. Like, they just don't know how to write her. The original author, I guess, would be like, man, she's too overpowered. There's no way to nerf her. You see this where, like, Skylar was overpowered on Heroes, and eventually Peter was. So they would constantly be doing things to try to nerf them. So they wouldn't be so damn powerful, but there's not much they could do. So yeah, that's where we're at. All right, friendship, he's going to be maxed out on friendship. Like, nobody cares about friends more than he does. Fighting in his own form, like, just, I guess we would say the little form, we know that wouldn't be very good. So, we know he's very trustworthy and loyal. I'm going to put this just at 16, though, because I wonder if there's ways that you could use, I guess, because he's naive, right? So maybe he should be 18 because, again, like, I feel like it was hand-to-hand friendship. But I don't think so because part of the trustworthiness and loyalty is like when to be and when not to be, and can that be manipulated? I think there are certain weak spots where it could be. Comedy, absolutely hilarious, but I'm only giving it 15 because, like I said, this allows room for nuance now. He's not the absolute funniest character we've ever seen, but he's pretty good. Cool factor. Why the hell was he at a 0? Like, that just seems obscene. He's not very cool, but come on, man. Like, he's got to be at least a 4, right? Like, I guess maybe a 2, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, we're never going to see him wearing a business tuxedo or anything, are we? So, Cunning, I honestly don't know why he was up at an 8 with Cunning. Because his naivete is shown a couple times. Medical training counts for something, though. Let's put him at 14. That feels more realistic. Magic. Pretty overpowered, but he has a lot of limitations. His pills only last 3 minutes. His other forms are pretty good, but not completely awesome, right? So let's put him at 13. Sanji. Well, he's here for his friends, so I'll just go ahead and make that a 14. Fighting, now see, this is where we get room for nuance, right? Because, like, he's not an 18 fighting. Shouldn't have been a 10, but he felt like he's better than a 9. So, like, my problem with him is he can only kick. He's all offense, no defense, and you got to be both. He can only kick. But his kicking is pretty damn powerful, right? So, let's put him at 15, which is really good. But we've seen there are humans with just humans and no powers that are better than him. But I do think he's mastered like the kick. Like I said, he's mastered 1 of the 6. Trustworthiness and loyalty? No, we don't trust your ass. Simping ass simp. Comedy, he's hilarious. Let's go ahead and make that 15, I think. Cool? Nah, man. I'm going to keep you at a 4. So, yeah, technically you've been downgraded. You should be an 8, but nah, man. In your cunning? Please. But we've seen him see through a couple things. We've seen him to do some things. I think one of the reasons he was a 0 is because, like, he loses all intelligence when he's confronted with a woman. And we saw that again with Soapy Woman, right? But 0 feels harsh. So let's make it 4. Usopp. Well, here's the thing. His friendship can be superseded by his ego, and we saw that with the fight he had with Luffy. Like friendship means a lot to him, but he has weak spots there. So we'll just go and just make it double what I had before. Fighting, one reason, this, again, we need more room for nuance here. So I'm not going to just double it, make it 16. He can take an enormous amount of punishment, which I really respect that a lot. That gets him to a 12. Then his inventions, which I'm going to cover. I think I want to put the inventions in the magic category. It's not magic, but you know what I mean. Like, we need a category for, like, the extra stuff you bring to the table. So I'll do that there. So I won't factor the inventions here. So really, we're just talking about his ability to take punishment, which is worth at least 12, right? Okay, so I'm kind of splitting this up a little bit. Let's go and do the inventions here. The inventions should be worth about 6 because, like, they overcompensate a lot. Let's make it a 7. So the two things together would actually be more than the 18 you'd get for fighting, because, like, he can take a lot of punishment, but then also his inventions kind of sometimes, like, he almost beat Luffy. Like, some people were saying in the comments it was never going to happen, and Luffy himself said it would never happen. I disagree. Even if you got 1 shot out of 100, that's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. I feel like there was one time, if they had fought 100 times, there's one time he would have beat Luffy. That's damned impressive, even though we're saying 1% is very low, like super low. That's impressive for somebody who doesn't have fruit powers. It's because of his invention, so he deserves that. Again, the trustworthiness, loyalty, like, it's good, but it has its limitations. We saw that. So, 14. Dude's hilarious. He's probably the funniest member of the Straw Hats. he's not consistently funny. See, the thing with Chopper is consistently funny across the board, but he's not like laugh out loud. He's more like, ha ha ha, or, you know, you're smiling. Usopp is either annoying or I'm literally laughing as hard as I've ever laughed at this show, and that's happened like several times with Usopp. So, how do you rate that? He's not consistently funny, but when he's really funny, he's really funny. What I put Chopper at 15? Yeah, let's just make him 15 too for a different reason, right? Chopper, his highs are not as high, but his lows are not as low. So, cool factor. He made his own theme song. That's not cool. The outfit's not cool. The premise behind the outfit is hilarious, but that we're not talking about comedy right now. I'll just make him an 8. So you got downgraded, right? But still, that's what it is. Cunning. I mean, what we're really talking about here is we're talking about the inventions and strategies, like some of his in-fight strategies, spur of the moment things he comes up with is really good. I believe he deserves a 15 there. So there we are. Yeah, cool. All right, Zoro. Friendship. I don't know why this was that high. I think, again, it was a nuance problem. Does he consider these people friends? He's never affectionate with them. I'm sure he does, but like it's in a very standoffish way. Cold way. We're not going to sit here and talk about our feelings. He's not emotionally supportive. So, also, I think if he found... I'm surprised I had it this high, because I think if he found an opportunity to fight a sword fighter somewhere else, and he had to take a journey and leave this crew to do that, the best fighter ever, to claim that rank, I believe he would do that. Which is betrayal, right? That's rank betrayal. Yeah, I believe this is this should be lower. So, let's make it 14. I'm really liking this, the ability to provide nuance with the numbers. Like, I'm liking this a lot. I think I'm going to feel really good about this change. Fighting, I mean, come on. 18, man. Like, dude, there's very few people he cannot beat. Again, I'm going to make this 14 for the same reasons. It may feel redundant, friendship and trustworthiness and loyalty. It's not, but a lot of times they go hand in hand. Comedy, he has a lot of hilarious moments. I don't think he's an 18 in comedy, though. Again, this is where nuance is important. So let's put him at a 15. He's with the others, 15 comedy. He has a lot of funny moments, but they're not consistently funny. He's not funny in every episode. But when he's funny, he's really funny. Cool factor, I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than him, right? That's going to be a 16. Cunning, yeah, not very good. I'm going to put him at 50%. And of course, you know, no magic. Okay, friendship. This feels high to me. So let's put this at a 14. We know friends are important, but we know money's more important. Fighting, she can take a hit. And she can punch you. But I think most of it is her tools. So I'll reflect that on that. So like fighting, I think I'm just going to put her in 8. Trustworthiness and loyalty, this should be even lower than the friendship. So I'll do that. Comedy, she's hilarious. Again, not 18 hilarious. I don't know why this is a 10. But she's very funny. Very, very funny. Probably, it'd be interesting to see if I could, if we had a counter. Who have I laughed at the most? I guess I'm going to do another 15. She's very funny. Cool factor. Why is this so high? She's cool, but is she like is she the coolest character we've ever seen? No. Why is that so high? I think, again, it's a problem. I was bumping up against, the 10 is just not enough numbers. That's what it was. Okay. I'll put her at 15, cool. I don't think she's as cool as Zoro. Cunning. Probably the most cunning person in the crew. So, let's put this at 16 as well. Now, she's gotten better with the tool, and she's gotten it can do more, right? Like there's more it can do, and she's gotten better at doing those more, right? So let's put this up at 12. That's pretty good. All right, here we go. Well, let's get the cutting out of the way. We know that's going to be terrible. Trash. Your cutting is trash. Okay, friendship. This would probably be an 18, except what happened with Usopp. He could have been better there. Let's put it 16. Also, I think another thing is that he endangers his friends because he doesn't understand they're not as powerful as he is. Now he thinks he can protect them, and what he wants to get so powerful he can protect all his friends all the time. But here's the thing: some of the decisions you make endangers your friends. That's not cool, bro. That's not cool. So I'm gonna actually put you at a 15. Fighting. This is without his powers, right? So if he had no powers, he'd still be a really good fighter because he'd take a punch, he would keep getting back up, and he would punch the hell out of you. So we can do that. We know he's trustworthy and loyal, but like again with the previous reservations I said, but I think his loyalty goes higher than his friendship does. So let's put that at 16. Comedy, the funniest character. He's got to be the funniest character in the show, right? Dude is just absolutely hilarious. He's the one I laugh at the most. I'm going to put him at 18 there. Cool. Is he cool? Really? Like, he's better than average cool, but is he cool? Nah, man. Like, I'm just going to put him at 12. Okay, magic. Just he's almost as overpowered as they come, but he has his limitations. So I'm only going to put him at like a 15. Very interesting. Like I said, Nico Robin has no limitations whatsoever when it comes to her magic. Everybody else we encounter is probably going to until we meet somebody who's like, I don't know what goes beyond this, right? But yeah. As you'll obviously see, like given how long this is, I'm just going to go ahead and make this my 300 special. I wasn't sure what I was going to do for 300 anyway. I know I want to do a wrap-up video after the Water 7 arc is done. But that's not going to be episode 300, obviously. So we'll make this our 300 special. You'll see that in the title already. And this will be what I do moving forward as far as the character corner goes. But let me know. I don't really get much feedback in the character corners. What little I've gotten has been positive. But let me know what you think. And you can always feel free to nominate somebody that should be on like the Hall of Fame or something if you feel like I've egregiously missed a character that was really awesome.